Hi Aries, how are you? We're going to be doing a current energy. I'm going to look at some crystals, I'll read them. I'll look at some crystal cards as well. And we'll have a smaller breakdown and see if there's any blocks as well. Alright? Okay, let's get started. I'm going to pull your crystals first. Okay. You had a decision to make because there's something unknown with it. You're hoping that something upcoming grounds that energy, like you have a knowing of some sort. It could be to do with healing, you know. You're that's all I could say about that. There's something of a choice to do with healing. Okay, let's look at some crystal cards. For Aries, please, current energies. A little too many cards. I like to reshuffle them. This is for Aries. Please kind of 3 cards. Aries. Current energies for Aries. Again. Alright, well look. We got smoky quartz. You know, so something you're grounding, something that you're protecting within yourself. Okay? I'm pulling the top 3. Canite. It brings balance and communication and aligns with the throat chakra, enhancing self-expression and honesty. This stone allows supports meditation and deeper intuition, something that you're looking for in a choice or a resolution with. And you're weighing it out heavy from what your crystals say. The smoky quartz reads, grounding and protection. It transmits negative energy, relieves stress, and enhances practicality. The crystal is connected to the root chakra, fostering stability. We're going to go in here. Rainforest jasper, rhyolite. It balances harmony. Rainforest jasper is also known as rhyolite. Promotes balance and harmony and allows the heart chakra, fostering love, balance, and personal growth. The crystal encourages a self of serenity and inner peace. I embrace balance and harmony with my life. And you also want communication, so you can say I am balanced and communicate with clarity. Okay? And I release negative for that one. Let's look at the bottom one. And you know, again, you have a lot of grounding factors in these crystals here. You know, grounding factor, grounding factor, grounding factor, grounding factor. The jasper is close to the rainforest jasper here with these colors, you know, so which is trying to balance something out, but there's a lot of choices with it, all right? You know, I'm going to give you the bottom, and there's only 2 cards left, so we're going to look at what you got. Amazonite, calm. I said that you were calm. You have spiritual growth in calmness. You got that with a clarifier. Okay, and an angel connection. You know, I am connected with the divine guidance. So maybe you're at the mercy of trying to find the facts in the situation. You know, just remember that you're overthinking a little bit with that. So I'm trying to ground that here. I think the advice here, you know, is to release the negative and try and ground yourself. Keep yourself grounded as best as that you can, especially in communication. If you have something to communicate, if you have to make a choice and you're looking for a resolution between one or more factors of that choice, you know, it looks good for you here. Let's see what you feel the blocks are. Okay, Aries. You're standing on something. You're standing on some sort of knowledge, you know. Something that wasn't your wish, it came upside down. You're seeking knowledge. Also, the obedience came upside down. Something you have to change a structure with. because you don't like the outcome in front of you. And you have honesty. And I think you're being honest with yourself with this big choice that whatever you have to make, or whichever direction you have to go. You could be at a crossroads with a decision as well. And you're trying to weigh out the negative and the positive. You have a 19, 48, and a 26, so you're jumping. Bottom one. I don't know. There's a lot of chaos, okay? You made an oath through chaos. You made a direction to a decision. It could be with healing, and you're standing on facts, but you're blindfolded, so you don't have all of them. And, there's love. You're summoning something, and the High Priestess of Earth, very grounded. So the message of the High Priestess of Earth is that you're trying to ground this situation here. Bottom of the deck, High Priestess of Water. And upside down, because it's emotional to go through this when you have to make a decision and you don't have all the facts. You want complete honesty with the situation. You want to be honest with yourself with it. You want it complete with the number 9 sticking at me, the number 19, 49, and 26. You were hoping for a quicker resolution than it actually gave you at that point. So that might be the blacks. That's what you think. Let's see. Smaller breakdown, please, on the decision. Aries decision. Aries current energy. You have a Knight of Cups and you got a Page of Cups. We know you're emotional about something. You have somebody, you expected somebody to maybe apologize to. Queen of Swords. You want to cut something off, and I think that's your energy. Honesty, truthful, protective, independent, funny, fair, strong, realistic, problem solver, intelligent, open-minded, and a mother. This could be a feminine energy going through a decision based on healing, based on grounding more than one factor, thinking about more than one factor, wants to communicate with clarity. Outside factor that Aries dealing with. Outside factor that Aries dealing with. Oh, the wheel's not really going in the right direction for you. You got misfortune. You got something out of control. You feel there's a bad luck decision. Or this could be your surroundings, because that's what I had asked. The wheel is not going in their favor. You have the clarity. Let's clarify that. Why the Wheel of Fortune here? I seen the Devil energy. Why the Wheel of Fortune here? There are 2 clarifiers upside down. Something wasn't a victory, and they don't know how to master something. Okay, we got manipulation, greed, poor planning, deceit, trickery, illusions, muse of gifts, cunning, unused ability, lack of mental clarity. This is who you're dealing with. Fade to lack achievement, disloyal, lack of confidence, disagrees, dishonest, disappointed. So something of your outside energy is not pleased with something that you know. Something that you want clarity with. Something that you have to make a decision with. And right now you're at rest with it, and I think that decision's going to put, something to rest here, because you got leaving it out. I'm going to take that. You had enough. The Queen of Swords, they had enough. Something, they just had enough. That's you, Aries. What's the mutual enemy? See, I can't believe I said that. What's the mutual, energy between them? What's the mutual energy between them? Sadness, loss, grief, despair, abandonment, guilt, remorse, trauma, heartbreak, disappointment, and regret. So this, is something that you might have set and left. You did pull that crystal there, the porcelain energy. It's set, and you're keeping that away. You're keeping it away. You're leaving it out. You're resting from it. Whatever this is. You might be seeking help from something to do with healing, like, because the Four of Swords are here. And maybe you required something and they didn't know the answer, or the help wasn't there, or I don't know, something right here. Let's clarify, Queen of Swords, please. Clarify the truth. I think that's your energy there, You got fulfillment, you got thoughts, and you got Jupiter energy. Inspiration, growth, pursuing, passion, adventure, new opportunities, and fortune. Overthinking a little bit, and I said that clearly. At least, you took it down a notch. The overthinking, and I feel that. I feel a relief all of a sudden. So that's good. Success is on the board right there for you. The mental overload, the rest, retreat, needing to solitude, relaxation. I think that you did that, I'm only going to take 2 cards with this. There's a separation, I don't think that wasn't meant to be. There was something that wasn't meant to be. Because, you have the masculine energy, you have the yang energy upside down, and then you have a separation upside down. So maybe you also feel that you're not alone in this decision. And your outside energies, although they're confused, they have a good intention here for something. There's an intention. Let's see what you want to leave out. The decision that you have to make and the fear about it. So this is a hard decision. Fear and decision. You're going to have to make it. Don't let your fear stop you there, Give you a little bit of protection here, and what you already have. You already have it. Clear quartz crystal. You started with smoky quartz. I'm going to change the energy. Their side. They have a spark with something, but they don't know what to do. This is an external party that I'm talking about, and they're not feeling very good about themselves right now. Whoever this is. External party, intentions card come upside down, for self-love, so they're disappointed in something. We read that with the card layout there. For advice, please. For advice between the energy between them. Self-deception, temptation. Something on the board that you have to control when it comes to that. And it makes wise choices, Choices. Why is the temptation here for the energy between them? Why is the temptation here for the energy between them? You're both trying to protect yourself in some way. What is that? Gonna have some on the nurture, protection for Aries. Aries, you know what you're doing. You started off with clarity. There's a decision you have to make. Someone's intentions may not be harmful, even though it's an external party. So I said there was more than one. But they don't know what to do. They just clearly are clueless. Why is that? Yeah. Upside down. You know, with worry too, then they know it's a burden. You know, they didn't want to walk away. They want you to know that they're there for you, but don't know what to do in the situation. You know, I asked about the fears. And I got an energy that doesn't know what to do with itself. I mean, come on, guys. Fear is fear itself. You have no choice but to make a decision. No. And you'll be happy when you did. You know, I'm glad to see the ace came out. I'm glad to see that, you know, it's a positive note. You know, it's quicker than I expected, right? And it'll all work out. The fear, you know, it's more complicated than it seems, but not as devastating as you thought it was. Okay? It's the best I can give you with this. Let's give like 2 cards, 3 cards for advice for Aries to keep moving forward with this decision they have to make. Advice. I don't want to use these cards. Pull me back to this. Advice. Advice, please, for Aries, for their greatest good. Release. Release the negative here with the, you know, the petrified wood that came in. There's a little control there, you know, and it brings confusion. You know, have faith. Don't lose your faith here. You're always protected. You're going to make the right decision. You're going to be pleased with it. And try not to get rigid through the decision because you got cold energy there, you know, here. You know, even with my painting, when I drew this, there was an acceptance with it. Double protection because of the birds that I painted. The mountains were there, but they're not as big as I thought they would be. Just like this decision. Just saying. You know, I'm going to go, there's smaller paintings behind here. I'm going to count to 4 backwards this way, and I want to see which one comes out. They are all different paintings. But I'm bringing in number 4 for you. And it's transformation. And a tower that you thought was, you know? There's a lot of paintings here, but you've got transformation. So something is going to change for you that you're going to be pleased with because of something that you did. I know you don't have all the facts right now, but that's definite on the board. And I'm glad you made the decision. I don't want to leave you like this. So, 3 more cards for advice in their decision, the one they're going to make. Wow. You got the wish card. So right there's a good note. You get what you wanted. You're going to be okay, whatever this is. You know, and there's healing on the board. There's the star. You know, so whatever this is. Oh, and movement is sitting here, chariot. You think it's slow moving. You're getting impatient there a little bit with it, you know. But it's almost like there's a thing here with the control. I guess there's temptation too in the feelings of this Scorpio, you know. So it tells me emotions that you're fed up with something. You're done with something. And it's at a halt right now. And you want the knowledge faster. You want it to move. And definitely it will. So don't worry. You know, I know you're thinking about it, but you know, and I know there's an unknown to it because the moon's there. Underneath the deck, it's like you'll have the knowledge that comes. Okay? Alright, 2010, 2011. Don't worry. That's what you're holding back. You're worrying a little bit, Aries. You got this, and you know you do. The Emperor came out on the board. High Priestess. Yeah, there's an unknown something you have to do. But you know what? You're not trapped because no one's ever trapped. You got clarity above you. Maybe just not right at your reach, but it will end up within the end of these energies, which is quickly because the Chariot appeared. So, I like your reading. I like the decision. Don't worry about it. What happens, happens. You know, my mother once said to me, I asked her, you know, what she would have done differently, and she said, I wish I didn't worry as much because everything ever always worked out, and I didn't know at the time. So maybe that's something you needed to hear. All right, have a good day, and don't worry.